This is Mary Maxine Likes to Talk with me, Mary Maxine. This is a series dedicated to talking about all the fun facts that I find fun, factual, and that I like to talk about. In today's episode, requested by a fan and longtime friend, Mary Maxine likes to talk about dinosaurs and stuff. This episode will not contain coarse language. Alrighty, folks. Well, this episode, we're talking about dinosaurs, a topic requested by my oldest friend, Tina, and a topic I'm always ready to talk about. I remember actually playing in the sandbox with dinosaur toys in kindergarten with Tina. Dino toys are obviously a staple for kids to have. My nephews have a ton of dino toys. And, oh my god, adorable. For Christmas, my 3-year-old nephew asked for jackets for dinosaurs because they don't do well in the cold. So my sister actually crocheted some little jackets for his T-Rex and such. It's adorable. Jurassic Park came out around the same time as the Flintstones movie, and I was like 5 or something, so we went to the drive-in to see the Flintstones, and my sister and I fell asleep, so my parents decided to stay for the double feature, and the second film was Jurassic Park. I woke up and watched a little bit and then proudly announced, "That's a Brachiosaurus!" So my parents decided to peace out before the T-Rex showed up. Too bad, really. Sarah and I went to the Museum of Natural History when we were in Los Angeles this past year. It's crazy to believe that these creatures actually roamed the earth at some point, and just how amazing that time must have been. No humans, no phones, just dinos living their best life. I have an encyclopedia of dinosaurs. It's by the Smithsonian Institute, so you know it's legit. So we start off with some of the basics, like dinosaurs lived in 3 distinct time periods, the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. The Earth looked very different back then, too. You may have heard about how there was a supercontinent called Pangaea. That was during the Triassic period. The Jurassic had the world looking different again with the continents Gondwana and Laurasia, with larger oceans and the Tethys Sea. In the Cretaceous, there were even more continents looking closer to today's Earth. Dinos had 5 distinct families, if you will. Theropods, like the Spinosaurus. Sauropodomorphs, like the Brachiosaurus, Thyreophorans, like the Stegosaurus, ornithopods, like the Iguanodon, and the Marginocephalians, like the Triceratops. These families actually branch from 2 other families called the Saurischia, lizard-hipped dinosaurs, and Ornithischians, bird-hipped dinosaurs. I almost got them all. Ornithischians. It's just amazing how many different kinds of dinosaurs there are, and they're all different colors, shapes, they're all different sizes, and they're all so cool. But I'm going to go into some fun facts about the Stegosaurus because it is my favorite dinosaur. And stegos actually lived during the Jurassic period in woodland areas of the US and Portugal. The bony plates on their back were most likely used in social or courtship displays, but some say the plates were also used for temperature regulation. They were plant eaters, kind of like a big cow. I wish I could ride a Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus is the most famous of the stegosaurs, but there were several different species like the Tuyangosaurus and the Huayangosaurus. The Huayangosaurus was one of the earlier species. It had legs that were more or less the same length, as opposed to the Stegosaurus, whose hind legs were twice as long as the front legs. Then there's the Kentrosaurus from Central Africa, and it has an even longer tail with incredibly sharp spikes lining most of its back, a fabulous defense feature. My next favorite dinosaur it's called the Quetzalcoatlus, and it was the largest flying dinosaur. It was about the size of a flying giraffe. Like, what is that? That's insane. They were massive, but they weighed only around 550 pounds because of how light its bones were. But can you imagine just a flying giraffe with a massive beak? They did show one of these in Jurassic Park Dominion, which was a fantastical cinematic adventure in my dinosaur-loving eyes. They also showed a Therizinosaurus, which was like an enormous ostrich scissor hands. These guys didn't fly, but they looked like birds, and they were as scary as all get out. Pterosaur means winged lizard. They're not bird ancestors, but are more closely related to birds and other dinosaurs than to actual lizards, crocodiles, or other living reptiles. They are the earliest vertebrates known to have evolved powered flight. Their wings are really a membrane stretched between their ankles and their alarmingly long 4th finger. They would have been fairly effective climbers, and some species were able to actually run and wade or swim. Though most flying quote-unquote dinosaurs are colloquially known as pterodactyls, that actually refers to the entire genus of Pterodactylus, which were quite small. Pteranodons are the species we typically think of with the elongated pointed crest on the head and the gah, And pteranodon actually means wings with no teeth. I used to play this game called Pterodactyl, where you used to have to cover your teeth with your lips and screech, Pterodactyl, at your friends going around in a circle until someone laughs. It's usually a pretty quick game. Boom, 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 boom. On to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus means tyrant lizard, with Rex meaning king, so Tyrannosaurus Rex means tyrant lizard king. T-Rex is my nephew's favorite dinosaur. Arguably the most famous dinosaur, certainly by Hollywood standards, possibly found on the Sunset Strip as they were native to North America. Now, contrary to popular belief, T-Rex lived during the Cretaceous period rather than the Jurassic period. T-Rex would feast on hadrosaurs, young ceratopsians like Triceratops, ankylosaurs, and possibly sauropods, Brachiosaurus and the like. There is a debate among paleontologists whether T-Rex was an apex predator or mostly a scavenger. Most accept that T-Rex was probably both, which is fair. T-Rex could be up to 13 meters long from nose to tail and could weigh up to 8 tons. Its massive head was balanced out by its super long tail. The first evidence of a tyrannosaur was found in 1874. Paleontologists found what would later be classified as Tyrannosaurus teeth. The most complete T-Rex skeleton is named Sue after Sue Hendrickson, the paleontologist who found her. Sue is estimated to have lived to be about 28 years old. The dinosaur, not the person. The 3 most complete skeletons are named Sue, Stan, and Jane, respectively, and the largest T-Rex skeleton is named Scotty. I am absolutely living for these incredibly generic names for one of the most famous and ferocious predators to have walked the earth. I mean, the public did officially name the T-Rex from Jurassic Park Rexy. My favorite Jurassic Park movie, though, is number 3, Jurassic Park 3. The one with the chatty raptors who communicate. The one with the fabulous Sam Neill, the okay William H. Macy, and the whatever Téa Leoni. There's also the little part about the Spinosaurus, a massive carnivore native to northern Africa. Even the little ones were about the size of a full-grown T-Rex. It is the largest land-dwelling predator of all time. The Spinosaurus had a massive sail that lined its back. The sail was supported by bones over 6 feet tall. It may have hunted on land as well as the water. They would eat crocodiles and smaller dinosaurs, which was most dinosaurs. And they most likely walked on all fours like a crocodile. That is terrifying. That is a terrifying thing to see coming at you. Which also then makes me think of the Ankylosaurus, like Spike from The Land Before Time, a fabulous and traumatizing series. The Ankylosaurus lived during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. They would have the big bony club on the end of their tails, and they lived in the woodland areas of North America. They were covered in hundreds of bony armor plates. Ankylosauruses were like tanks. There were some really cool species of Ankylosaurus, like the Gargoylosaurus and the Edmontonia. The Edmontonia had huge spikes on its shoulders, and it was twice the weight of a rhino. The Gargoylosaurus was a bit smaller and less spiky, but still pretty cool with a pretty awesome name. All of them are cute, too. They all just seem like really big dogs that don't know how big they are. They just munched on plants, moseyed about, just eating plants and being all cute until a predator comes along and just eats one of your friends. You know, the circle of life. Sauropods were amazing too. The long necks, definitely up there in my favorites, like the Diplodocus. Their front legs were shorter than their back legs, just like the Stegosaurus, meaning that they probably ate lower-lying vegetation, even though they were so tall. They were an incredible late Jurassic giant who is one of the more well-understood dinosaurs because so many of their fossils have been found. They could grow up to 27 meters long and weigh 15 to 20 tons. They are the longest known dinosaur, and Diplodocus means double-beamed lizard due to the bones in the tail. The tail could actually move so fast that it could break the sound barrier and make the sound of a whip. Full-grown Diplodocus had no natural predators. And this brings me to the end of the episode, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, Mary Maxine, for Mary Maxine Likes to Talk About Dinosaurs and Stuff. Let me know what your favorite dinosaur is in the comments. There's just so many awesome dinosaurs. It's really hard to choose which ones to talk about, but I do like to talk about them. Stay safe, everybody. Mary Maxine Likes to Talk. Available for your ear holes on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, Podcast Addict, and marymaxine.ca.